So welcome to this awareness session. So I'll quickly be taking you through across this competition, and if you are interested in um, sort of participating with your final year project, I want to give you some advice. It's rather um, uh, anyway, I'll talk about what it is about and so on. So you may have heard this word NBQSA or National ICT Awards before. So just to give you a quick rundown of what this is. So this is Sri Lanka's most prestigious ICT competition. It's an annual competition which was started back in 1998. It's considered National ICT Awards now. It's supported by the government and all stakeholders in the ICT industry. All the prominent associations, everyone's behind it. It's also the competition nominates representing ICT products for representing Sri Lanka in international competitions. So this is why this is about the competition. There are many categories in this competition every year. If you go to nbqsa.org, you can find more information about the other categories. I'm not going to explain each of these. What we will be focusing mainly today is about the student categories and actually what is relevant for you. But beyond that, the competition, the main competitors in this competition are companies. So companies which have software or hardware products, ICT products basically, compete, and then there are some special awards. So it's highly competitive, and like there are 100 to 200 applications which are evaluated from corporates, and 100 plus student projects are usually there. Student projects actually come under 4 categories. There is something called tertiary, which is for university category students. So this is open for university students or university level or higher educational institutes. So there are other 2 categories which I'm not going to explain. Postgraduate student projects, obviously it's not relevant for you. And then there's something for BCA students, which is also not relevant. So let's look a little bit about eligibility. So all of you are eligible being in a university who has not completed graduation within the last year is fine. So there are 2 categories in which this projected. One is called technology category, and is called business category. Quick differentiation. So technology category, if you are, for example, from a university where you are part of a computer science, computer engineering, software engineering, and IT related degree, your project would be a technology project. What is more important there is the application of technology. In other words, if you are demonstrating something, the technology involved is highly evaluated, the quality. Whereas in the case of our degree program, there is a separate category which is applicable for business projects. So ours would go as a business project. There are other institutions in Sri Lanka which compete in this, namely there is Colombo, SLIT and IIT. So they are here. Again, you need a working project, but what is more important is the idea and how as a business it has been thought about. So as you can see here, the last point, working solution required to be demonstrated. But here you need a prototype, something which may not be the full application, but then has essential parts integrated. But the business idea and how you are going to make it a business is what is more strongly looked at. There's another special award for solutions which are addressing national disasters. This, of course, whether you can apply for this or not depends on your project. What is your problem? If it is something that is addressing national disasters, or something which can be considered. So, for example, in current case, fuel queues, right? It can be considered not a disaster, but it's more like a problem, right? Fuel queues or like economic problem. So, if there's some solution, like last 2 years, COVID is one of those, right? So, or there are other things like national level, like landslides or rainfall or floods, things like that. If your solution in some way addresses, right, some part of it, you could say that you can compete for this special award. So it's a one category. So basically all institutions, higher education institutions in Sri Lanka have been a part of this competition, including our university. Even our students have participated previously. So I'm not going to talk much about the winners here. We haven't won anything at NBQSA previously. Last year, one project went to the final round, but they didn't win. It's quite competitive, obviously. So there are other institutions which have won the winning category. Our university has won awards, but not our degree program. In other words, there are our science faculty, they have won some programs under this. So what do you win? So you win actually, so before we go into winning, the judging is done, it's a judging panel. So like our project evaluation, there's a judging panel, but not from academia only, mostly from industry. So people from the industry ask questions, there are academics also. And each, so it's a live judging round. So they will ask questions, and they are usually a blend of technical and business backgrounds. Based on that, and how much you get in a category, you get gold, silver, bronze, and merit awards. How is this evaluated? You have to have a presentation, like the presentation you did for your interim presentation. There's a presentation. But it is, this timing is a standard timing. It's basically based on Asia Pacific ICT Alliance Awards. So when you get to the judging room, you have 3 minutes to set up, right? So within 3 minutes, you must be, if you bring your laptop, you have to plug up the cable, everything, set up everything, demonstrate in 3 minutes. Then 10 minutes presentation, 5 minutes Q&A, 2 minutes to leave the hall. So this is a very strict arrangement. So usually this is kind of the standard arrangement that you find, right? So within this 10 minutes, you can have a video if you want. You can have a demonstration like a recording. That is also possible. But obviously, judges, you might be a convincing thing. So you can do certain recordings of certain things. That's fine, right? But this timing is very strictly followed in general. Q&A, sometimes maybe you might find a judge may ask you some question beyond it, but generally speaking, not so much long. Okay. If you are submitting a project for this, what do you have to submit? Do you have to submit source code? No. Do you have to submit the PowerPoint? No. Then what do you have to submit? At the first level, you have to submit some information about your project, right? So I'm not going to talk a little bit more about this because this is not applicable for our students. I'll talk about the business projects. So these are the headings in which you have to explain your project. These are the headings. Sorry, this is the evaluation criteria. The project, these first 4 are the ones you're going to talk of. So you will be talking of uniqueness. What is uniqueness means? Okay, is there someone else who has done the same thing, right? Now, for example, if there is another mobile app on the internet, if there's something on the Google Play Store, if there's another company which has done similar, what is that and what is it difference? So you could say, okay, no one has done this, but then if it's not very convincing, there may be, so you have to explain. So this is very important. So I'll explain Sinhala as well. And make it a compete කරන මේ තරඟාවලියට සම්බන්ධ වෙන කවුරු හරි බලන් ඉන්නවනම් ඉස්සෙල්ලම තමන්ගේ ගැටලුව මොකද්ද, මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ සොලියුෂන් එකේ ගැටලුව මොකද්ද කියන එක පැහැදිලි වෙන විදිහට දක්වීම ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකේ ඉතා වැදගත්, right? මේකෙදි කවුරුවත් අහන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ case use case diagram, right? ER diagram, right? ඒ එකක්වත් වැඩක් නැහැ. No, absolutely no, right? මේකේ බලපාන්නේ ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකද්ද, ඔයගොල්ලෝ හදන්නේ මොකද්ද, what is the innovation, right? ඇතුලේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියන එක අදාළ නැහැ, right? It's expected that you follow some standards there, but what is the problem? Number one, so මේ ප්‍රශ්නය අපි company එකට, so if you look at if someone is interested to apply for this, if you are doing a website for a company, don't apply, right? If it's just a website, නිකම්ම information the website එක apply කරන්න එපා, තේරුමක් නැහැ, right? If you have some degree of value by not just presenting information but by generating information, then you can think of it. So sometimes there are things that you can add which is not part of our degree program syllabuses. That's fine. For example, if there is some AI related component, you can propose. some machine learning, IoT like things. Although you may not explain, you don't need to explain. If you know it can be done, you can propose it as a part of your solution. අපි අපේ project එකක් ගත්තොත් අපි දැනට කරන දෙයකට එහා ගිහිල්ලා innovation එකක් පෙන්වන යමක් Tamanට දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් දක්වන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක ගැටලුවක් නෑ. ඒකට AI ද block IoT blockchain ඕන එකක් පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? You are not implementing it, but you are saying this is how it's done. That's fine because it's a pilot trial that you're going to show. Right? So you need to have some working model of something. ඔක්කොම නිකන් cutting කියලා එන්න බෑ. Right? ඔක්කොම ඒ නිසා ඒ වගේ දෙයක් කරන්න බෑ. හැබැයි ඔබට මේ solution එක පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ මොන හරි දෙයක්. So you must need to have a prototype working. වැඩ කරන්න නැති solution වැඩක් නැහැ. Right? So the most important thing is a good problem. Right? Good problem. There must be a problem which ideally you can make money out of. So මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ උගක් වැදගත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳුමක් දෙන්න බොහෝ විට ප්‍රශ්නයට විසඳුම දෙන අතරේ මුදල් ඉපෙනවා. You know, if it's a solution, you are expecting it to be viable, right? So if it's a product, how do you make money out of it should be very clear. That's what this proof of concept should explain about the solution feasibility, right? So what is application of technology, uniqueness, innovation means? What is this product? What is the technology you are using here? What are the technologies? Are you using like, are you using cloud? How does it integrate? Then are you using certain secure, I mean, you know, is it a mobile app? All right. Or how do you work with it? And so on. Innovation is like, then you have to compare your product with others, right? Other products out there. Content and standards, product stability, reliability is depending upon the demonstration you do. තමන් demonstration එක කරද්දී ඒකේ පෙන්නනකොට ඒකේ stable විදිහට පේනවා නම් ඒක තමයි ලකුණු වෙන්නේ මෙතනින්. Content and standards also, what are the standards now? For example, there are coding standards. There are standards applicable when it comes to like if it's a privacy related, you know, things there are there. Data encryption could be there, which is not very important, and you won't be, you know, you may not find it very useful. But if you look at a project that our students would do, content could apply to even the let's say the type of information you store there, right, and so on. Functionality feature is a very important feature. User කෙනෙක්ගේ පැත්තෙන්, from the user perspective, what is this what the user wants, right? For example, you may think I am developing a mobile app to play music, right? But in your app you are expecting people to load the file or open the file by using a, you know, like you have to specify the file name by typing it. You know, that might not be very good on a mobile phone. You can't type. You have less, you know, typing is not easy. Compatibility and problem. What can connect to this? Can you connect from a laptop, or can you connect from a tablet? Things like that. Or so those are can you connect from different browsers? Things like that, right? So these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, these uniqueness, quality, functionality, features, proof of concept, those things are, you have to write something in the application, right? Maybe one paragraph about what your application is. මේ application එක submit කරන්න තියෙනවා 15 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට. ඒතර submit කරද්දී ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ contents වල මොනවා හරි දෙයක් දාන්න අවශ්‍යයි. තමන්ගේ project එක ගැන මොනවා හරි විස්තරයක් දාන්න ඕනේ, right? Like in your project description, you could talk of the user requirements. You already in user requirement gathering, so you can put that parts here, right, for features. So you have not developed your product, most of you. But then you could talk, so this proof of concept, actually, you don't need to submit at the time of, this is a marking criteria, right? Make a ලකුණු දෙන criteria. Make a submit කරන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. සාමාන්‍ය මේ uniqueness, quality, functional features are mainly ඔයගොල්ලන්ගෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. Then based on for the marking, this presentation is very important. අපි කොච්චර හොඳ software එකක් වැඩක් තිබ්බත් වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒක present කරනකොට impact එක දෙන විදිහට දෙන්න නැත්නම්. For example, you are trying to develop an app which helps the diabetic people. Right? අපි හිතමු අපි app එකක් හදනවා මේක මේ hospital වල පාවිච්චි කරන app එකක්. Sugar වැඩි diabetic patients ලාට පාවිච්චි කරන්න. Mobile app එකක්. Right? Diabetic patients ලාට බෙහෙත් ගන්න එක ලේසි කරන්න. Now, the impact there is, you can say, in the world, there are so many millions of diabetic patients according to the World Health Organization, right? And they don't have an app to manage their solutions at this stage or something like that. So this app is for that. So now that's a statement which, if you can justify accordingly, helps show how impactful your solution is. So it could be garbage, where you could say, in Sri Lanka, according to this research, this garbage issue, pollution, or the pollution is a major issue. It affects all the districts, or so on, likewise, right? So that sort of presentations, your presentations like could be PowerPoint, it could be a video, whatever it is. PowerPoint is the chosen, but it has to be a very like attractive one. In this step, I think it is good if you see what this project Sunnyfly has done for their give me a second, I'm just trying to access it. Right. So I don't know whether, sorry, whether the video or the voice was there. I may have not shared that. Hold on a second. But okay, I'll link you that. I don't think we need to waste time on that. I'll share the YouTube link on the chat, right? So you can watch this. But this is a 1 minute video. That was a 1 minute video. Now at NBQSA this year, you have 10 minutes, but at least a few minutes you have to talk on your own. You can't just play a video and wait there. That is not good. Right, this was last year. This was actually, this video I showed you is from not that, but I'll share with you the video from NBQSA that they did. So one of the things that you have to consider is, like, if in your case, if you have a, give me a second, my UPS is beeping. I have to change my connection. Can you hear me clearly? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah. So if you want to compete in those competition, one of the things we need to consider is you have currently 2 member projects. So one big issue that might happen is two people can't actually two people can't do a good project, um, demonstration. So actually my our understanding, so even with Sunnyfly project, what they did was, for our project they had a 3-member team because they had won the DHAC, but for competitions they had more people, like at least one more, because they were weak in development, right? So similarly in your projects, I think some of the projects, I don't know, some of you are doing about waste management, so maybe you can combine your project into one and submit it for the purpose of this. That's also possible, but you need to plan it out, because end of the day the project will be project is a team project. It's not they are not going to consider how many people are there, right? 4 can be there, 3 can be there, 2 can be, even 5 can be there, right? As long as we certify it's a university project. But the problem is, if you have only 2 people, your project cannot be very impactful, because there is a lot of things you have to consider. The main project එක දෙන්නෙක් කරන එකක් තමයි අපි අපේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ අපි ඉවැලුවේෂන් එකේ දැනට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි මේ වගේ තරගයකට ඉදිරිපත් වෙනකොට මේ තමන් කරන දේවල් දැන් එක ළඟ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්ස් විදිහට මේ තමන්ට පුළුවන් නම් මේක ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකකට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා කීප දෙනෙකුට වැඩ කරන්න, තමන්ගේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකට මේකේ ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් පැත්තට සම්බන්ධ කරලා ඩිමොන්ස්ට්‍රේෂන් වලට උදව් කරන්න, විශේෂයෙන්ම ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් කරන්න ගියත් ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකට හොඳ ප්‍රසන්ටර් කෙනෙක් ඉන්න ඕනේ, right? හොඳට ප්‍රසන්ටර් කෙනෙක් ඉන්න ඕනේ, හොඳට කතා කරන්න. Now in this in the Sunnyfly project, this the presentation is voiced over by one person, but then there are others who do the technical stuff, the documentation, the development. Presentation එක කරන්න එක්කෙනෙක්, හදන්න එක්කෙනෙක්, application කරන්න තව එක්කෙනෙක්, document කරන්න තව එක්කෙනෙක්. මේ ඔක්කොම එක්කනට කරන්න අමාරුයි, right? එතකොට කරන්න බැරුව නෙමෙයි, කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නම් කරාට කමක් නැහැ. හැබැයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අර 4 දෙනෙක් ගෙන සම් එක, right? ඒ සිනර්ජි එක එක්කෙනෙකුට සමානලාට එක්කෙනෙකුට දෙන්නෙකුට වඩා වැඩි. So that's something you have to be careful in these projects. මේකේ සබ්මිට් කරනකොට මේ තොරතුරු ගැන documentation part එකේ application system එකට ගිහිල්ලා පොඩි තමන්ගේ project එකේ description එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ. මේ description එකකින් නෙමෙයි ලකුණු ගොඩක් එන්නේ. ලකුණු එන්නේ අතරම demonstration එකේදී, right? මේකේ description එක දැම්මට කවුරුත් නේ මේ project එක මේ scores calculate කරන දේ මම මෙතන කියන වැඩක් නෑ. නමුත් ඒකේ score එකට weight එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ weight එක multiply කරලා තමයි එන්නේ. So basically if you are the winner in these projects, if your score is above 70%, you get what's called a gold award. Then there's 65, 60, and there's something called merit, which is certificate for tertiary students. So this submission process is online, right? At nbqc.org. So like judging will be in August, right? Or August 1st or 2nd weeks on a weekend. But also this is not make it apply karana, so this is not just apply for fun, right? Make it apply karana අතර මොකලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා නම් ඒ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකට අවශ්‍ය ડોකියුමන්ටේෂන් එක කරලා ડોකියුමන්ටේෂන් එක අතරම ෆිල් කරන්න දෙන්නේ බොහොම පොඩි ප්‍රමාණයක්. හැබැයි අද ලොග් වෙලා බලන්න වෙයි. මොකද මේකේ 15 රෑ තමයි closing date, right? ෆිල් කරන්න දෙන්නේ බොහොම පොඩි ටිකක්, right? Basically your project documentation, no screenshots, nothing needed, right? Just for the moment you just submit the project itself. You can actually, the demonstration is on the day, right? The other thing is there is a deposit of 1,000 requested. So මේක ඇත්තටම තියෙන හේතුව තමයි සාමාන්‍ය මේකට ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස්ලා හුඟක් ඇප්ලයි කරනවා. හැබැයි ඇප්ලයි කරලා ජජින් වලට එන්නේ නැහැ. තමන්ගේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක හදලා ඉවර නැහැ කියනවා. අද කම්පැනි ජොබ් එකට ලීව් ගන්න බෑ වගේ එක ප්‍රශ්න කියනවා. So basically to avoid the judging panel being inconvenienced, there is a 1,000 rupee fee which is charged as a deposit. If you come to present, the deposit is paid. If you don't come on the date assigned to you, right, your deposit is not returned to you, right? So it's 1,000 rupee deposit. So if you win at this, apart from winning at the competition, you are nominated to APICTA or HFS ICT Allowance Awards, where you will be nominated one of 3 nominations if you win and if the project is considered to be still good. මොකද මෙතන project දිනන project එක උනාට ඒක commercial product එකක් විදිහට develop කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහ commercially viable එකක් වුණොත් තමයි මේකට nominate වෙන්නේ. So you will not be automatically nominated just because you have win the gold. No. especially business category, it must it's unless you have a lot of like demonstration which is ready to be shown, it's not easy. And usually if you do win the air ticket, this year's competition, I'm not sure, maybe Malaysia, it was supposed to be in Pakistan, but last year it was online in Malaysia, but the year before that, so this is where the competition has been held. And Sri Lanka is usually has been quite well established in terms of this, where we were third or second in this in the current recent years. So this was in Vietnam, and so while our university, අපේ department එකේ ළමයි මේකේ gold එක කරන්නේ නැහැ තාම. sorry, අපේ ළමයි award එකක් කරන්නේ නැහැ, participate කරලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි අපේ university එකේ tertiary category එක නොදින්නට tertiary technology එකේ අපේ දෙදෙනෙක් 2019 and 18, Dulan Dias in 2018 and Madhushi Velikala in 2019 have won the gold at Epic. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ ලංකාවේ competition එකේ දෙවෙනිය. හැබැයි project එක ලංකාවේ evaluate කරන්නේ අගෝස්තු වල, Epic එක evaluate කරන්නේ නොවැම්බර් සම නැත්නම් ඩිසෙම්බර්. ඒ වෙනකොට project එක සමහරගේ complete නෑ. මෙහි evaluation එතන evaluate කරන එකේදී Epic වල නිරලා තියෙනවා. Right, so before that, back in 2007 and 6, two projects have won from UCSC and SLIT. So 15th July 12 midnight is where you have to submit your application completely. So මේ වෙනකොට application එක submit කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මේක application එකේ ගොඩක් දේවල් අහන්නේ. හැබැයි එක දෙයක් අහනවා තව. ඒ තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලියුමක් ඕනේ වෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ මේ ලියුම ඒක නම් ඇත්තටම ගැටලුවක් නෙමෙයි. ලියුම යුනිවර්සිටි එකෙන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ කියලා ඩික්ලෙයාර් කරන ලියුමක් එහෙම එකක් අවශ්‍ය වුණොත් ඒක PDF එකකින් අපිට මහේෂ්වරට කියලා අරගන්න පුළුවන්. This project is a supervised project කියන එක. Right, supervisor ගේ නම දාන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි දැන්ට supervise කරන project එක supervise කරන. So the supervisor you are currently doing a final project name is to be indicated in this project, but no certification is needed, but then maybe the email address is required. So August first weekend, weekends are judging thing. So August first weekend, and if you get selected to the second round or the final round rather, it's in the third week of August that the judging is held. Right, so these are the things which you should be aware of this competition. So I think I will conclude with that information, but I'm willing to answer any questions. तर මම හිතනවා මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ මොනවා හරි ඉනෝවේටිව් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ නිකම්ම e-commerce shop එකක්. right, website එකක් කරලා එකෙන් shopping items දෙන වගේ දෙයක් කරොත් නම් ඇත්තටම ඔතන දාලා ඒක ඉනෝවේටිව් කියලා පෙන්වන්න අමාරුයි. Right, but if you are doing, especially if you are addressing a SDG or a UN sustainable development goals වගේ දෙයක් address කරන කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමයක් තියෙනවා නම්, right, I think some of you are doing projects related to maybe waste management, things like transportation. If you are doing something like which you can say queue management, like fuel queues or whatever, things like that. If you are having something like that, even like applications which you could say, if it's even things like which like if your app has some leisure type of traveling or related something, if you can say, people will buy this, or how can you must know how to make money out of it. So මේ හුඟක් app එක එක්ක සල්ලි හම්බ වෙන විදිය, මේක හොඳ business එකක් කරන්න කියන අදහස ඇතුව යන්න ඕනේ. Because you would be applying in a business project, you must know, okay, how much cost will it cost, how much I'm going to subscribe, මේක subscription එක ගන්න කීයක් විතර යනවාද, ඒක මේ වෙලාවේ ඔක්කොම ඕනේ නැහැ. Actually if you apply now, I think we can help you refine your idea for the final presentation. මේ presentations වල අපිට ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ idea එක refine කරලා present කරන එකට උදව් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි application එක 15 වෙනකොට දාන්න ඕනේ. Right, application එක 15 වෙනකොට දාන්න 15 හවස log වෙලා නැහැ. අද nbqc.org වලට log වෙලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්න ඕනේ. Right, so I'll just show you what you need to do to apply. Right. So if you go to click apply, this is the application system. As you can see, it's closing on this time. So this is category. So your category is a student category from here, right? Then student, then your project is a business project. Project name you must give, email address. So this email address is your address because it will be you will be checking. You'll get automatic email once you add this. If you have a website, you can put it. University name, degree name, number of students in the project. So this can be. I think it doesn't have a limit here, but then technically I think 5 is a good limit. I think we don't allow more than 8. Maybe this counting has like that. So 5, whatever. So the address of the university, address applicant, telephone number. So here, if you select, if you try to click next, obviously you have to fill all the details. But let me just try to add something. I think something is not filled. Right. So here you are giving the names of the student, development period, which date, which did you, when did you start the project? So to date is the ending date. So the name of the supervisor, the email address is required. Project here. So these are the things you have to enter. You have to enter all these. Brief description solution. What it is about. Uniqueness I mentioned. Proof of concept. Functional features. Quality and appraisal technology. Special awards. If you won an award, right? So you can leave none if it's not. Previous participant in product versions. That is like if you have participated previously at NBQSA, that's also usually none. Right? Description you can click add, right? So something here and click add. It gets here. Then you can select uniqueness. You can add something and select add, right? Proof of concept, functionality features, add. Proof of concept, but you can't. You are not supposed to put it like this, okay? Quality application technology, add. Special awards. You just don't put something like this. You can put none, okay? I'm just saying. So you can edit these as well individually. Then if you click next, so I think yeah, click. Here you have to agree to the solution. You need to upload some documents, right? If you have something to upload about your document, like a project, your project description, if it's complete, like something like a PDF file, you can do that. If you have like a project brochure, things like that, you don't, this is optional. So your video, you don't need to submit this time. So this is just, you can put something here, agree, and then here submit will submit it. But if you submit it without paying, it will not be eligible yet. So make a submit click on submit right? Rupial 1000 given to submit, right? So just be aware of that part. Okay. So that's the whole process. So it's not you can finish it if you are ready with the features complete pack submit but of course before you submit, I strongly believe you must think whether your project as it is can be submitted. Do you need more people? Project එක දෙන්නෙක් දැන් අතර project එක groups දෙකක් ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා නම් මම හිතන්නේ supervisor කියලා ඒ වගේ දෙයක් කරන එක හොඳයි. මොකද මේ මම හිතනවා මේකෙදි project එකේ evaluation එක පැත්තෙන් ගත්තොත් දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්න එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. හැබැයි 4 දෙනෙක්ගේ project එකක තමන්ගේ weeks කියලා තමන් presentation week නම් ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන හොඳ කෙනෙක් සම්බන්ධ කරගන්න එක බොහොම නුවණැති ක්‍රියාවක්. Right? Of course, they can help in other things. If you are not good in development, you have a good problem, but you don't have a good development team. මොකද මතක තියාගන්න මේ වෙලාවේ සබ්මිට් කරලා ලබන මාසේ මේ කාලේ වෙනකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. right? ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන්න දෙයක් ඒ වෙනකොට ගන්න බැරි නම් අතන සබ්මිට් කරන්න අමාරුයි. So even if it's a design part like XD design, that is still not bad. But generally design එක විතරක් කරලා evaluation එකේදී ඒකට ලකුණු හොඳ කම් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒතර ඔයගලන්ට එහෙම වුණොත් කියනවා මේක තාම ඩෙවලොප් කරගන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ලකුණු අඩු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. බිස්නස් අයිඩියාවක් විදිහට ලැබෙන ලකුණු ලැබේ. Okay, time for questions. Right? If you have any questions. Right, I don't need to waste time, neither if yours or mine. So that I assume is no questions. If you have any questions, email me if you think. So from my side and from I think the department side, we will definitely support you should you decide to apply with your project. I think Ranil sir will also support you on the development aspect and to I think from the project perspective. So but there are opportunities to be gained. There are many other competitions, but this is probably one of the best things you could apply for. Of course, you could apply even next year because you are not being graduated yet, and technically your graduation date is sometime next year, so you could still be eligible. But then maybe this is the best time to apply, because you are now doing the project and you have something soon. You should have something to show. Right, so if there are no questions, we can conclude this meeting. Okay, then thank you very much. Good luck with your projects.